Hello, you beautiful people. Today I wanted to talk about 5 buy low targets for you to go after in your fantasy leagues this season. This is for head-to-head points leagues, and before we begin, feel free to like and subscribe if you want to, and leave your picks for buy low targets in the comments below. So with that being said, let's jump right into the video. Quick side note, I just decided to throw in another player at the very end of the video for the OGs that have been watching and supporting the channel. You guys are the GOATs, and I really appreciate it, so yeah, stay tuned for that at the end of the video. So you already know we're starting with the player in the thumbnail, and that's going to be Brandon Ingram. So as I'm recording this, the Pelicans are currently dismantling the Bucks. I mean, Lonzo Ball and Bledsoe are hitting threes, so like you're just not going to win a game if they can actually shoot. But anyway, onto the topic of Ingram. He's just been a really good player. I mean, he had a really hot start to the season, and since then he's kind of cooled down a bit, but I feel like he is going to go back to that upwards trajectory that he was showing due to his assists increasing and everything. So yeah, he's really solidifies himself as the focal point of their offense. He's getting a lot of touches and he's really performing well. So I think he's definitely a buy low target because I think his value is a bit lower right now just because, like I mentioned, he was on that cold streak for a bit. But I definitely feel like that's about to turn itself around, and if you can make a trade for him, then I would definitely recommend doing it just because I think you'll get some good return and you won't have to give up as much as you will to get him on your team later in the season. So yeah, with that being said, I think he's a great buy low target for right now. So the next player is someone I would trade for urgently, and he's just a great buy low target, and that's going to be Michael Porter Jr. So the only reason he is a buy low target and that his value is low at all is because he had the Rona. And if you saw the flashes that he was showing before he got the Rona and the flashes he's shown since he got back, he's legit, man. Like, I didn't know if he was going to be real, like after the bubble performance. I didn't know if he was going to be able to keep up that level of production, but he's looking like he's even surpassing what he was putting up last year. I mean, he's just been absolutely insane, and I think he's going to be great for fantasy this year. And people are really undervaluing him right now just because he hasn't really played yet, and he's a young player. So I think if you're lucky, you might be able to snag him from someone for like two mediocre players because that seems to be relatively similar to what the asking price is for him right now. And I feel like that's just a great deal because he is worth a lot more than that in my opinion, and that's why I think he's such a great buy low player. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. So the third player on our list is one of my favorite players in the league because I'm a biased ass Celtics fan, but it's going to be Kemba Walker. And similar to Michael Porter Jr., the reason he's such a great buy low target is because he hasn't really played this season. And well, it's a different case for Kemba because he had that knee thing and he got the stem cells and all that science shit. But anyway, we don't need to get into that. This ain't a science channel. But yeah, I mean, Kemba Walker is a great player to have on your team. He's a great leader on the Celtics. He gets a lot of touches. He runs their offense, and he was an all-star last year. Like, I think a lot of people are forgetting that. And I feel like he's just a great fantasy player. I mean, he scores the ball, he facilitates. He's not great at passing, but he gets his fair amount of assists. And yeah, I think he's just a good fantasy player to have, and he's getting criminally undervalued. So I'd definitely try to make a trade for him if you could. Plus, I think his asking price is similar to Michael Porter Jr.'s right now, so might even be less, honestly. So, which is kind of crazy to say, but I feel like that's just the way people are looking at him right now, and that's why I think he's such a great buy low target. Now we're going to move on to someone that has been pissing a lot of people off in my comments because he's on their team, and I've been saying it since the start of the season, and I'm going to keep saying it. I think Spinny P is a great buy low target, just because, like I said, he's enraging a lot of fantasy owners because he has been underperforming for like the entirety of the season, but I truly feel like he's going to turn it around. I know it sounds like it's not going to happen because it's been quite a few games into the season, but I feel like his production is going to pick itself back up. And yeah, I think it's a good time to take advantage of the fact that he is pissing off a lot of people every night because he's not performing as well as they expected him to. But the thing with Spinny P is that, like, while he hasn't been living up to expectations, if you look at him objectively, he is an alright fantasy player. I mean, the reason he's making people so upset is because he isn't performing as well as they expected him to. But if you just look at Spinny P objectively, he is good for fantasy and he is an alright player. And like I said, I think his production is going to increase. But even if he doesn't, just be aware, like, he's still a good fantasy player. And it's more just because people are mad that he's not performing as well as where they drafted him at. So yeah, I think that's why he's such a great buy low target. So now we're on to the fifth player in the video, and like I said, I did include one special player at the end for the OGs, so stay tuned for that. He's coming up after this, and I think he's honestly the best buy low target of the video right now, just because, I mean, I'll explain it later, you'll see. But anyway, we're going to talk about Tyrese Halliburton right now. So Tyrese Halliburton is someone I've been talking about since the start of the season. I think he is a really underrated player right now. And while his jumper does look absolutely disgusting, he just contributes in a lot of stat categories. He's really good on defense. He can score the ball. The jumper looks gross, like I said, but it goes in. So, I mean, whatever. And also, he's just a really good passer, so he's getting a lot of assists as well. And I think once the Sacramento Kings fire Luke Walton, like, please, for the love of God, just get rid of that guy. He cannot coach. And then I think that's really going to unlock some of Halliburton's potential, even more so than it already has been. So, yeah, I think that's why he's a great buy low target, because even if he continues on this trajectory, he's going to be a solid fantasy player, and he definitely has even more room to improve. So if you made it this far into the video, drop a W in the comments below because you guys are the real OGs. You guys are the people that I really enjoy making videos for the most, just because you're not casuals on fantasy basketball. You really take it seriously and you like having discussions. So yeah, if you made it this far, drop a W. And the last player I want to talk about on my buy low targets is going to be Evan Fournier. So Evan Fournier is a player that I don't think a lot of people are aware of as a buy low target, but he is just like, now that the Magic lost Fultz for the season, they lost Isaac, Fournier has really stepped up into like the second scoring option on the team, honestly. I mean, it probably should be Gordon. They should probably trade Evan Fournier, but it's the Magic, and I don't think they're going to. But Evan Fournier just is a really solid contributor. He's a really good scorer, and he's just really underrated as a player too, I feel like, because he is playing for the Magic and they don't get a lot of attention. But he's a really good shooter, really good scorer. He's facilitating a bit of their offense now, which helps his numbers as well. And yeah, I think he's a great buy low target because you definitely won't have to give up a lot to get him. And yeah, that's why I think he's such a great buy low target. And I want to thank you guys very much for watching. Leave your buy low targets in the comments below, and I hope you all have a great day.